Getting the Overgrowth Achievement in Halls of Torment requires making careful use of the Crone summoning. But her summon ability is complicated, especially if you aren't aware of all its mechanics. In this video, I'll teach you how to get the most out of the Crone summoning power so that you can finally nail this achievement. So kick off your shoes and pick up a controller. Today, I want to help you get the Overgrowth Achievement in Halls of Torment. Before we get started, I need to give you a brief heads up. Usually in my guides, I try to get the achievement or beat a level in the most new player-friendly way possible. That means common and easy to farm gear, easily obtainable ability upgrades, and so on. For this achievement, I don't think it's possible with just common gear. Some of the stats we need are only on uncommon gear, so we need to be able to send green items back up to the camp. In order to do that, you'll need to beat the secret level, the Vault. Once you beat the Vault, you'll get the Archaeologist Thread artifact, which will let you send back uncommon items if you equip it during an agony mode run. If you're having trouble beating the Vault, I made a video on the subject that should help you clear it. I'll be sure to link it in the description. With that out of the way, let's tackle how we can get the Overgrowth Achievement. We'll start by going over the Crone summoning mechanic. The Crone has a meter that charges during your run. Once the meter is fully charged, she will summon a plant. You can see the meter charge level and the total plant summoned on the right side of the screen in your effects window. Now, there are a number of ways that we can influence the meter charge rate. The first is movement speed. The charge meter gains a flat 2% charge per meter moved. So if we increase our movement speed, we'll increase how many times we get that additional 2%. The second way is force. At base, the charge meter fills 13% per second. But with force, we can increase that amount, passively gaining extra charge for doing nothing else at all. And last and probably the most important is summon count. All charge rates get a multiplier applied to them, and this is increased by summon count. By boosting summon count, we can reach some pretty insane multipliers, which we will absolutely need to reach 20 active plants. I'll get more into traits and upgrades later, but these are going to be our three primary focus areas. Boosting these stats will have us summoning plants at a rapid pace. Now that we understand how the summon mechanic works, let's take a look at some items we can use to get this achievement. I want to give credit to a YouTube commenter on another one of my videos, who shared the build that they used. We're going to pretty much use the core items that they suggested with some slight twists. As I mentioned before, we may need uncommon items to complete this achievement, and that's because for two of the most important items, we may need their uncommon variant. So make sure you unlock the Archaeologist Thread by completing the Vault and farm some of these items. The most important item we need is the necklace Shepherd's Boon Numbers. If you saw my Horde Summoner 2 achievement guide, you know how strong this necklace can be when it comes to summon builds. But in case you're not familiar, let me quickly go over how it works. Shepherd's Boon Numbers gives you a health regen bonus based on your current number of active summons, but that's just one part of it. While you're at max health, the necklace will charge up, and once it reaches full charge, it will increase your summon damage and your summon count. It can stack up indefinitely, but it does suffer diminishing returns. After learning how important summon count is for the Crone summoning ability, you can see how impactful this item is. I'm honestly not sure if it's possible to get this achievement without the necklace, as there aren't too many items that boost summon count to this extent. The second most important item is the Invocator's Grasp Gloves. These gloves straight up boost summon count by a flat percentage and increase their damage. If you have the Invocator's Grasp Swarm variant, you'll get an even bigger boost. The Swarm variant isn't strictly necessary, but of course if you have it, use it. If you don't have Shepherd's Boon Numbers, then you probably need to have the Invocator's Grasp Swarm. One or the other of the two uncommon items seems to be necessary. For the mark, you want to use the Mark of Rituals, which is the one for Warlock dedications. This mark will get you a lot of summon-based traits for level up options, including summon count and force. These are the big three items you need to make this achievement as easy as possible. For the rest of the equipment slots, try to focus on improving as much movement speed, force, and summon count as possible. There are a few options you can use for the rings. If you have the Guiding Star ring, definitely take that one. We're going to be constantly moving, so you get a big boost to movement speed from it. The second ring is really up to your preference. For my run, I used the Pest ring, because I love that ring on summon builds. You end up with so many rats from it, getting a decent buffering line between you and the enemies. But a better option if you have it may be the Holy Relic. The Shepherd's Boon necklace depends on you being at full health as much as possible. The extra healing from Holy Relic can go a long way to making sure you stay at max HP. Also, if you're at full health, the Holy Relic will drop a buff pickup. And one of the buff options is a significant boost to movement speed, further increasing charge rate. For the boots, I went with running boots. For the helm, I used the hood. And finally, for the chest, I went with plate armor for some extra defensive stats. Again, the Shepherd's Boon Numbers Necklace, the Invocator's Grass Gloves, and the Marker Rituals are basically required items for this achievement. For every other item slot, you don't need to have the exact items I mentioned. Just use the best of what you have and you should be alright. Next, let's go over the important traits to select during your run. As previously mentioned in the summon mechanics section, we're going to focus primarily on 3 traits in the following order. 1. Summon count. This adds a multiplier to all of your charged resources, making it by far the most valuable stat. Whenever you see this trait, be sure to grab it. It's also our priority target for the Reverberant Tincture potions, so make sure you use those as well. 2. Force. This stat increases the amount of charge you gain per second at a decent rate. 3. Movement speed. You gain charge every meter move, so the higher your movement speed, the quicker you gain this additional charge. Another important reason to select movement speed is due to the Crone's curse. Her speed is automatically reduced by the number of plants active as a way to sort of hamper how many you can summon. You want to keep piling on the movement speed so you can counteract this curse. Lastly, you want to also pick up some defensive traits, so health regen, defense, and block strength in that order. Health is not strictly important here. Again, a big part of this build is maximizing Shepherd's Boon, so these defensive traits will reduce the overall amount of damage you're taking. Plus, the high regen rate should get you back to full health quickly. The good news is that the Crone gets a strong version of health regen and defense traits. The bad news is she gets the weak version of block strength. That's why we prioritize those defensive traits in that order. Focusing on these traits should have you summoning plants at a very high rate. Just make sure you keep your health topped off and you'll be in great shape. While abilities are not really necessary for this achievement, there are some that can help out. They are basically there to deal out damage and help clear the horde, but don't technically help you when it comes to summoning more plants. First is Astronomer's Orb. Whenever you're making a summoning build, Astronomer's Orb is generally a good idea. You end up with so many orbs in play that you'll have some massive damage done. Next is Transfixion. The Crone has a high chance of spreading decay and dealing decay damage. Transfixion is a pretty good ability at spreading more debuffs and generally weakening enemies overall. Selecting this ability just allows you to really pile on the debuffs and soften up enemies, making clearing them even quicker. That's really all you need for abilities, but again, even these two are not necessary. You can take whichever you like using and you should be alright. Finally, let's go over some tips to get the achievement during your run. First and foremost, do not ever stop moving. Typically you shouldn't stop moving this game period, but for this achievement it's doubly important. You're trying to make the most of the summon rate, so you need to constantly be moving in order to get the meter's move charge increase. Only stand still if you absolutely need to for some reason. Try to be at full health as much as possible. You're going to need a lot of help from the Shepherd's Boon Numbers Necklace, so avoiding damage and staying at max HP is high priority. Your major source of non-ability damage is likely going to come from your plants and decay, so you want to make sure to keep as many enemies trapped near your plants as possible. Moving in a wide circle makes this easiest, but you can safely route as you choose. So long as the mobs are near your plants, you're golden. If you're ever curious about how many plants you have active, you can see the total count in the item window to your right. You can also take note of how quickly it's charging and the Shepherd's Boon current stack as well. No particular level is better than the others, so pick one you're comfortable running. This achievement practically requires a lot of different trade investments, so you're going to need to level up quite a bit. Make sure you're playing on Agony mode and have a decent count of artifacts active, but make sure it's not more than you can handle. It's going to take some time to get this during your run. You need to level up a lot in order to get set up, so don't get frustrated if you notice your summon count not getting close enough. Just keep leveling, keeping your health full, and constantly being on the move, and soon enough the achievement will pop. And that's it. Congrats on getting your achievement. Feel free to end the run and head back to camp. But playing this version of Summoner is a ton of fun, and filling the screen with plants is a blast. Were you able to get the Overgrowth Achievement? What was your max number of plants summoned? Were you able to complete it without any green items? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found the video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and good luck on all your future runs.